Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and much respect to the brothers out there laboring in his work, and also to the believers scattered across the four corners of the earth, the hopeful elect of the USA. Shalom. So I want to go into a quick exhortation, pretty much going into the grace time and the grace period that we've been given, by the Heavenly Father through His Son Yahushua during this time to get our minds right for the times to come. That's what this whole thing was about. Pretty much preparation for the time to come. All right. As Isaiah 33:6 says, knowledge and wisdom is going to be the stability of our times and the strength of your salvation. So, during this period while you had this truth, your whole motive, should have been, I need to soak up as much of this knowledge and wisdom as possible, understanding that the days of evil are coming. All right, and the Lord has left tangible things behind for you to consider, such as the ant. Now, the ant gathers its resources and its food in the summertime, in the time in which everything is available, understanding that the wintertime ahead is going to be harsh. All right, food is going to be scarce. There's not going to be many resources, so we need to stock up now and prepare for those times to come. And it also goes into being prudent. All right, as the scriptures say, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. All right, so when you relate that unto the ants, after they store up their resources, they go up under the ground where they're safe from the elements. All right, to where they don't have to gather resources during the harsh conditions, such as the winter, whatever the weather may be. All right, because during that time, if an ant comes above and has to get food in the freezing cold, then they will freeze and die. All right, so the same thing with us. We're pretty much in the summertime, all right, or we were in the summertime, that this knowledge and wisdom was available to be easily accessed. As we can see, as we transition into the fall, this word is beginning to fall away. All right, and it's ultimately going to turn into the wintertime, in the time in which this truth is going to be very scarce. All right, so for the elect, you want to gather what you can so you would be able to eat, during that time spiritually. So Proverbs 30 and verse 24, it says that before things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. And the first one the Lord got are the ants. Verse 25, the ants are a people not strong. So the Lord compared the ants unto people, and these people would be symbolic unto the elect, right, who foresaw or foresee the evil and prepare themselves. So the ants are people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. All right. And the Lord also said that He was going to give us meat in due season. And this is that season for us to gather up and stock up resources. So being wise is you pretty much preparing for the evil times ahead. You see that? So the same way with the ant, that's how you were supposed to be. Proverbs 6:6, as we know, tells us that, all right, to go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. All right, an ant has many qualities of being wise. First and foremost, they're all in unison. They're working toward the same common goal. All right, you don't see them fighting against each other. All right, they're working toward the same goal, same mind, same agenda, and that's the same with the elect. All right, and also they foresee the evil. Okay. Verse 7, it says, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provide her meat in the summer and gather her food in the harvest. All right, so they have no guide, no overseer or ruler, and that's the same with us, man. All right, as a man, you're supposed to be able to govern yourself at some point. All right, to be able to harvest for yourself. This salvation is for you and you only. At the end of the day, all right, but that comes with you laboring and putting in the work in order for you to harvest. During that time. All right. So a man of Lord does not have to have an overseer, all right, in order to tell them what they need to be doing. You're supposed to already know what you need to be doing, right? So, verse 9 says, how long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of that sleep? Okay? And this sleep is symbolic for you pretty much not preparing yourself. So going to Proverbs 10 and verse 5, it says, he that gathereth in the summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame. So you see the dynamic between the two, a wise son and a foolish son. You know, Wisdom of Solomon 7:28 tells us that the Lord loveth none, but he that dwelleth with wisdom. And also Ecclesiastes 5:4, when it says that the Lord has no pleasure in fools. So the dynamic between the two, being wise or being foolish, is going to be the determining factor, you know, between your salvation. So you understanding that, you should want to gather up as much wisdom as possible to preserve you in the times to come. That's Proverbs, the 2nd chapter. All right. So, yeah, he that gathered in the summer is a wise son. While all this information was available, you didn't sleep on it. All right. You gathered up and you stored it within your mind. So now you're going to be stable in the times to come, rather than the sluggard who didn't take heed and didn't store up these riches, didn't prepare his mind, but he's going to suffer famine during that time when everything is scarce. He's going to be looking for answers also. He's going to be seeking wisdom. You know, he's not going to know how to move and operate during the times of trouble, and he's going to be shaken. All right. So with that, let's get this article that I pulled up from tomorrowsworld.org. All right, and it goes into being, you know, wise as an ant. Consider the ant and be wise. All right. Start at the top. Says storms, wildfires, earthquakes, and other natural disasters have frequently dominated the news over the past several years. These catastrophes have caused massive power outages. And as we can see right now, they're talking about power outages. I think today, July 9th, they got the Cyber Polygon event. All right, which goes into mass power outages. So this is what's coming. So when that time comes, are you going to be able to be sound in mind, you know, and keep your faith during a time of trouble? Because you have stored up your wisdom, you know. So it goes on to say food shortages. It's going to be food shortages. And billions of dollars in damages to personal lives and property. Do we see these events and think to ourselves, wow, I am glad that that didn't happen to me? Okay, that's pretty much the mindset of 2/3 Jake. Jake don't care about shit unless it's at their front door. You see? So we don't want to be in that mindset of, damn, you know, you see stuff happening around you, but you glad it ain't you. Well, your time can be coming very soon. But did you prep yourself, you know, spiritually? It says, am I ready for such an event? Natural disasters are going to happen, and sometimes they come without warning. Right? It's a sudden destruction. Will you be ready when more disaster comes? Are you preparing like the ant? You see that? The ant is a small creature without human intelligence, yet it teaches an important lesson in preparing for future disasters. Ants treat each coming winter as a natural disaster. If they are caught above ground during the freezing temperatures, they will die. To survive the winter, an ant colony must prepare and store a surplus of food during the summer. Same with us. You're storing up this food within your mind. Then its members can live below ground and survive on their provisions. How does this relate to us? Yahweh Shema Shah admonishes us to consider the ant and be wise, which having no captain, overseer, a ruler, provides us supplies in the summer and gathers up food in the harvest. You gotta do your own work, man. You gotta do your own labor. You see that? It says the ant, it diligently prepares to survive the winter. So what does the word diligently means? All right, simple Google definition. Doing something diligently means doing it thoroughly and well. It's the opposite of doing it lazily or shyly, pretty much being a sluggard. If you are tireless, persevering, and do things with great care, then you do things diligently. And this is an adverb that goes with hard and careful work. Right? You know the scriptures say, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. You see that? It says its lesson for us is to be industrious and proactive in our preparations. The ant gathers supplies and food, storing it away for the coming disasters. And we should do the same. It's talking about the elect. Begin making a plan now. Do not wait. Like the ant, your very survival may depend on it. Okay? Wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of your time and the strength of your salvation. So when they cut the lights out, this goes into some more carnal shit. All right, FEMA, their methods for preparation. We're talking spiritually. So, when they do cut the lights out, as they're talking about, are you going to be stable during that time? When the food get low, are you going to be able to be stable and keep your faith? Because at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to patience. You having patience to endure these trials and temptations. All right, because we all got to go through something during this time, prove our faith. All right. Ecclesiasticus 2 in verse 1. My son, as I come to the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. So make not haste in the time of your trouble. That goes into having faith and being patient. All right, cleave unto him. How do you cleave unto the Lord? By listening to his words, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. All right. So at the end of the day, patience and endurance is going to be your main trial or test during this time. All right. You're not going to want to make haste during the time of trouble. So only way that you can be stable is by soaking up this knowledge of wisdom. 2 Edge 8 and 4. So as I said, swallowing down, O my soul, understanding and the Bible wisdom. All right, because this is what is going to be your stability. It's going to be the stability of thy times and your salvation. All right, so verse 5. For thou hast agreed to give ear, and you've agreed to listen and to hearken, and are willing to prophesy. For thou hast no longer space than only to live. So this is how you're going to live. By soaking up this knowledge. If you want to live, you gotta bow your ear. You have to, That's why Proverbs 4 and 7 says, hey, wisdom is the principal thing. All right. So let's get there real quick. Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. All right. All that getting, get understanding. And in order for you to get understanding of wisdom and knowledge, you gotta pay attention to instructions. Right? Proverbs 1 and 2, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, and to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, because this thing is all about growing. So if you're wise, and you're going to listen and increase in learning. And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. Okay? So let's skip over to Proverbs 2 and verse 10. It says, when wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant to thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, and understanding shall keep thee. To deliver thee from the way of the evil man, which is Esau, from the way that speaketh froward things. Okay? So this is what you want to pay attention to, the wisdom and knowledge of the Holy Scriptures, to get you out of situations, being discreet and subtle. All right? Because you know what the Lord said during the times of famine, hey, my servant, they're going to eat. Isaiah 65, 13. He said, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashimashah, behold, my servant shall eat. And we eating right now spiritually, but in the time of famine, we're going to literally eat. But ye shall be hungry. This is to the ones that are not being obedient, or the ones that have not soaked up this knowledge and wisdom. Behold, my servant shall drink. And we're drinking now this living waters. But it's going to translate into, physical water in the time of, famine, the time of the drought, and all that. He said, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. You're not going to be comforted in that time. All right? 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. You see that? So this is not the place that you want to be at. So, swallow down wisdom and knowledge for the stability of your time. Which is going to be the strength of your salvation. So I always want to go into that real quick. Lord willing, you edify. Till next time I say, Shalom.